my solo venture that I do. You guys know, I do a group panel as well on Sundays. And if you missed yesterday's episode, I don't know what to tell you. We had, I know it's football season, and everybody, uh, you know, they kind of drop what they're doing for football season. So I wasn't really intending on a lot of people being in there. I mean, I don't get any viewers anyway, but I figured out we have some. But it is what it is, and this podcasting game is crazy. But what I wanted to get into this morning, I'm not sure who that is, because all it says on Habs, hey you guys, is Facebook user. It doesn't tell me who it is. So I'm going to pull up my broadcast on my phone here just so I can see who it is. Hey, Red, what's up? I have to read comments that way because unless you're on Habs, unless you're following on Habs, it's not going to show your name. So that's what I'm going to. So, anyways, I did a podcast some time ago, and it was titled, if you want to take a look at, well, it's a long title, but I couldn't find a way to shorten it. But it was like, if you want to find out how far you come in life, take a look at Google Photos. And the reason why that was so good to me was I did that. You can go on Facebook and you can have Facebook download all of your photos to your Google Photos. And so last night I was doing that, and it finally finished. It's like 1,300 pictures, and I finally finished, and I was looking through the pictures, and I was going, what? Did I go through that? Did I do that? Is that how I looked 5 years ago? I mean, it's a very eye-opening experience if you've never had it. If you never went back, and if you never, because we haven't seen, some of us haven't seen ourselves in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, and when you finally look back and you go, man, really? Is that me 10 years ago? Is that where I was? The reason why that's important, I think, well, for me, not just talk for Terry, because don't nobody really know me like that, you know what I'm saying, except for the people that really, really follow me, is that my past has always been my struggle, right? And I think even in my progression in becoming a man, my past was still my struggle, and I didn't want to acknowledge the fact of some things that I did in my past. But when you go down memory lane, as it were, and you go, okay, geez, man, how do we get here? That's how it is. But it's very important as a person to find out where you come from, because a lot of us forget where we've come from, especially when we make it and we get to the point where we're successful and all of that, and then we forget. But this message today is for folks who are in a place and don't know, right? If you want to see how far you come in this life, y'all, for real, take a gander at Google Photos. If you are an Android owner, that app is dead smack in the middle of your phone. Okay, if you're an iPhone person like I am, you had to go download it. But nonetheless, if you want to see how far you come, pull up Google Photos and let it run you back. I'm sitting there last night and I'm looking at photos because I've been on Facebook, I think 10 years or 11 years, or however long. And there was a lot of pictures on there. and it downloaded every single picture I ever posted on Facebook. The very first picture that I looked at was a picture of me sitting in my car picking up my stepdaughter from school when I was living in Illinois, long time ago. And I was like, no, that was living in Illinois. I was living in Charlotte. I'm sorry. I was living in Charlotte. And I remember that picture. I remember that picture because I remember the struggle that I was going through with my then wife. I had got caught up. I'm gonna be honest with you. In that picture, I had got caught up, right? And my then wife caught me, and I was in that school line picking her up because I was calling myself trying to make amends. I was trying to make it right, right? Even though that's something I should have been doing anyway, because I was a husband and a father. I should have been doing that either anyway. But I never went. I would never go pick her up from school. And she would always do it. But in the spirit of me wanting to make it right after I got caught up, I'm going to pick up the school. So I remember taking that picture. Excuse me. And I was like, I thought I was slick stuff. I had on this white hat with these clear shades, and I had my hat to the back, and I thought I was the man. But the whole time hurt. Like, wow. And I couldn't blame anybody for my pain but me, because I was the cause of it, right? But I didn't see it like that. And most of the time we don't see it as it's my fault that I'm hurting. We don't see that. All we see is the pain. We don't see, hey, it's your fault. I didn't see that till years later. And so, and the next picture, the next picture that was beside it was a picture of me driving down the road. So at the time, Bluetooth headsets was a big thing, back then. And I'm driving down the road, and I take my phone, I take a picture of myself driving, and the depiction of the picture was me being kicked out. And I wanted to take that moment in that still shot and keep that in remembrance for what I'd have no idea why I wanted to do that. But I took the picture, I looked at it, and I was like, oh my God, I remember this day. It was a Saturday. It was hot. And she had to put me out. She said, you got to go. You got to leave here. I can't do you. And like I said, this is my drive from Charlotte to my hometown. And I said, I wanted to make it right with her. I just wanted to make it right, right? I was making a mess. I was making a mess of my life at this point. But in the spirit of wanting to get it together, I left, and I drove down to my hometown. I spent the day in my hometown, right? And just down there in Wadesboro, North Carolina. Spent the day down there, spending with my cousin and them, and contemplated and drove back home that night. And we got into a fight because she was like, didn't I tell you to leave it? Why are you coming back here? This ain't your home no more. But I can laugh about it now. I couldn't then. And I was like, okay. So we fought about it. What's up? And we fought about it. And then we ended up kind of getting back together, but it was one of those pained ordeals. It was kind of like pulling teeth. I mean, as far as because there was no more affection, there was no more nothing, you know, at that point. And then, you know, the next picture. I mean, that's what. But what I'm saying, I've said all that to say this is that looking back on those pictures and Google. I mean, and the thing with Google Photos is that when they download them to from Facebook to your Google Photos, it does it in chronological order, right? So this is not random pictures, you know, from this era, that era. They do it in chronological order. So it started from that very first picture to where I am now, you know. And that's why I say it's important that we, if you want to see how far you come, is because you know sometimes we get to the place where okay, I don't feel like I'm moving, I don't feel like I'm progressing, I don't see it, I don't see where you know God is moving in my life, I don't see where the stuff is at, and that's it's okay to be in that place. We've all been there. Some of us are there right now. Some of us have been there, you know, and just kind of stagnant, right? But I'm telling you guys, look at your go and look at those pictures in Google Photos. Just if you haven't in a while, if you haven't seen yourself in a while, if you've seen that and you wondered, oh man, how did I get here? I'm telling y'all, go back, look at your photos, and you'll sit there and you'll go. Some photos will legit blow your mind. Like, how did I even get here? What's up, Michael? I didn't. I'm just not seeing you because Habs doesn't let you. Doesn't show any comments unless you're on Habs. But anyways, it shows the comments, but it won't show your name. Um, I struggled for a long time in different parts of my life, and when I went back and I looked at these Google photos, I mean, it just took me right back to that place. Legit, it took me right back to that place. It took me to when my second wife and we split, and they showed pictures of where I took pictures and I went home for a minute, and then there were pictures of me going, flying, and it was pictures of when I was in Illinois for 4 years. And I mean, it took me back to to the very moment that I took that picture. It took me back there, and I'm like, oh, wow. And I'm sitting there last night, and I'm on my back porch, and I'm just, I'm like, I can't believe. Thank you, God. I may not be. See, and that's the thing. It's a grateful moment because you may not be where you want to be in life, but boy, I hope you're thankful for where you are. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, we are a society of I want it right now. Right? We are a society of I got it. If I can't have it right now, I don't want it. If I gotta put forth some effort, I don't want it. I'd rather let you have it than to fight for it. But if we go back and we think about all of the crap that we've been through in our lives, man, and run back the tape, just legit. I mean, I got 3 people in here, or 2 people in here, including myself, makes 3, I guess. But well, maybe some folks will catch us on replay. But legit, if you want to see where you've been, run that thing back. Go on to Google Photos or whatever photo app that you use. But I use Google Photos because Google runs the world, So I always go and want Google Photos. But if you want, I'm telling y'all, if you want to see how far you come in this life, man, please take a gander. Go into Google Photos and just see how far you come. It may not be like I said. We in that microwave society where we want everything right now. If we can't get it right now, then it's like I don't want to deal with it. Like for what? Like, what are we fighting for here? But some of us won't allow the process to work because we want it right now. That's the problem with some folk. I know for me, that was my issue. My issue was I didn't want to do any work. What's that? What's work? I don't want to work. I gotta look at myself in the mirror. What? Come on, I ain't doing that. Why would I do that? And so, but when you don't, it keeps you stagnant. What's up, Richard? It keeps you stagnant. It keeps you stagnant, and you're wondering how you're gonna make through. Also, I would say this: if you go through your photos, you're taking a trip down memory lane, and then you look and you see a photo, and you look the same in your photo from 5 years ago, and you look right now, you might want to have a conversation with somebody. You might want to sit there and go, I don't think this is the move. It's just in the process, trusting yourself. Exactly. If you go to your Google Photos and you see a picture of yourself and you look the same way now that you did 10 years ago, or if you look at a photo and emotionally in a place now than you were back then, it's time to have a conversation. What you do, what you see when you look at yourself, I'm telling you, man. Well, I mean, it's never one of the things that I always say. It is difficult, Richard. It is. But one of the things I used to say, and I still say, is that it's never the falling down in life that makes you who you are. It's the getting up. And so we fall down many times. I know I did fall down many times, and you wonder how in the world am I getting up? How in the world am I going to do this? But it's in those times when I get stronger. It's in those times where I had to overcome. I didn't have any choice. Either eat or die. That was it. And what you don't want, or what's the most difficult point, what you don't want to do is to get to that place in your life, whether it's do or die. And sometimes because of our decisions and because of our choices, we end up in that place of do or die. Right? But I'm telling you, and it's okay, but it makes it, it's never falling down, it's to getting up, right? That's what makes you stronger. That whole adage, you don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only thing you have left. That kind of thing, right? This depends on the slim or fat if you don't want to look as good as you were for 10. Well, we're not talking about physical, we're talking about emotional, I guess. That's what I meant to say. If you are rolling, there are some people that just flow strictly in emotion, right? So, because I remember, and I'll give you a case in point. I'm talking about before I go, because the Brothers of Legacy go live here in a little bit at the top of the hour. So make sure you join us for that. There was a place, maybe 10 years ago. I'll give you a year. That's going to work out better. I'll give you a year. 2011. Okay. I'll give you a year. You talk about emotionally struggling. There's nothing in this world worse than trying to fake it. I'm telling you, there's nothing in this world worse than trying to fake it. And 2011 was the year of faking it. I was in Illinois working at Walmart in Lake Zurich. I was doing two jobs, actually. I was working security at night, and I was doing Walmart in the mornings. Emotionally, I was gone, right? And so when I look at those pictures from that era, from that year, I was like, oh, man, I was in a bad way emotionally, right? But look at the pictures. I look at me. I look at now. There's different. So what I'm saying is, don't still be in the same spot emotionally. But the good thing that came out in 2011, though, is the fact that I met Melissa in 2011. Now she wouldn't date me. Now, don't get me wrong. She wouldn't date me or nothing. But but I met her in 2011. We're talking about chronological order. But so emotionally, I was in the place. I was in the place, and going back through those pictures last night made me kind of go back there and be grateful. So if it's for nothing else, it's to be grateful for where you are. I'm starting to master emotions and 70% better. You guys still are down days that kick yourself out of it. Yes, I mean it happens. It's one of those things that happen. You're gonna have those days, but I'm telling you, go back and take a look at those pictures. Go back, and if you go back, if you really do it, if you really go back and take a look at those pictures and take a look at your past, and you tell me you can't have one thankful moment, then we in the wrong business. If you can't look back on your life and be thankful for where you are now versus then, we have a problem, Houston. We have a problem. It was great. Melissa's so good for you. Yeah, she is. It took me 5 years to get her, Richard. Just so you know. But I'm thankful. So again, before I get out of here, you guys, look. If you missed yesterday's episode, we're talking about getting unstuck, and I had Felix Anderson on along with Stephen Atwell and Quinn Stewart. Felix Anderson dropped so many nuggets on us that day we just stopped talking. It was just like, you know what I'm saying? So look, if you in a way, reach out to people. There's somebody who can help. I mean, you inbox me. If you got an issue, you inbox me or whatever. But we have to do it. Got numerous thankful moments, more than I can be thankful. Thank you as well. You're a special kind. A lot of people don't see it that way, Richard. And hopefully one day that changes and they're able to see that there's a lot of things to be thankful for, even though you may not be where you want to be. You might not be there, and it's okay. But you ain't where you used to be, though. You're not in that place of suicidal thoughts. You're not in that place of I don't want to do this no more. You're not in that place of I give up. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever place you're not there. You're in a different place, right? Thankful, grateful. Be grateful for where you are. It may, like I said, it may not fit well. It may not look good to you. You may not be in the house on the hill, but thank God you're not slinging dope no more. Or thank God you're not being somebody's side chick or side dude anymore. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like to you, to get to the bottom first and rebound uppers, it's going to take. Don't let it. But see, here's the thing, and you make a good point, Richard, about it may take rock bottom for you to see it. But why? Here's my thing. There's too many people out here, motivational people, life coaches, people like me that gives advice that gives advice on life experiences. There's too many people that can help you, and so they can help you from reaching rock bottom. The only time somebody can reach rock bottom is because they did not bother to reach out. Those are the people that's going to hit rock bottom and hit it hard because they did not reach out. There are too many sources for you to not hit rock bottom. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get out of here. Like I said, the Brothers of Legacy go live in 20 minutes on Facebook. So if you don't follow the Brothers of Legacy, please go and follow the page. My page will be my personal page, AD, Pastor Brian, Dwayne Goodson, all of us will be on there in a little bit. So the Brothers of Legacy go live in a little bit. Check us out. But forget, real quick though, guys, go take a look at those Google photos. Go back. And if you go back, and if you can't find a thankful moment in those photos, inbox me. All right? But I'm out here. You guys have a great day.